Hello, my dear friends. It's Bear Maple here, and I'm so glad you could join me tonight. I have a story that begins in the quiet heart of the forest, where a little shop waits with shelves full of wooden toys, spinning tops, and treasures that seem to whisper secrets if you listen closely. One afternoon, Owen wandered in, and something caught his eye. Something small, yet full of wonder. What was it, you ask? Well, that's the mystery we're about to discover together. Some treasures sparkle on the outside, while others shine only when held close. And sometimes, the tiniest things carry the biggest adventures. So snuggle in, get cozy, and let's begin our story, The Marble in Owen's Pocket. In the heart of the forest, tucked between tall oak trees and winding ivy, there was a small toy shop. Its shelves were stacked with wonders, wooden blocks carved smooth by hand, tiny spinning tops that whirred like hummingbirds, and bright marbles that caught the sunlight and scattered it into dancing colors across the floor. Owen, the young squirrel, loved visiting that shop after school. There he would press his nose against the cool glass, whiskers twitching, eyes wide with wonder. His heart beat faster every time he looked inside, as though the shelves held not just toys, but secret treasures waiting to be discovered. And then, one ordinary afternoon, something extraordinary caught his eye. Resting on a small wooden stand was the most beautiful blue marble he had ever seen. It shimmered like a drop of sky captured in glass, swirling with light that seemed to dance inside it. Owen's breath caught, and for a moment, the whole world faded, leaving only him and that perfect, glowing marble. Inside the shop, Owen wandered slowly through the aisles, his paws brushing past wooden blocks, painted tops, and rows of bright marbles that glittered in the sunlight. The shopkeeper, old Mr. Pine, was busy at the counter, his gentle voice carrying as he helped the other children choose their toys. But Owen's eyes never left one marble, blue as the clearest sky, glowing as if it held a secret inside. His little heart began to race. Step by careful step, he reached out, his paw trembling ever so slightly. And then, without a word, he slipped it into his pocket. The marble felt small and smooth in his paw, yet somehow it pressed heavy against his chest, as if it carried more than just glass and light. Owen walked down the winding path through the forest, the late afternoon sun casting long shadows between the trees. Birds chirped from the branches, and the leaves rustled softly in the breeze, but Owen barely noticed. All he could hear was the faint, steady clink of the marble in his pocket. With every step, the sound grew louder in his mind, and the marble seemed to grow heavier, as though it carried a secret weight meant only for him. The cheerful forest felt quieter now, and Owen's paws dragged a little slower along the trail. By the time he reached his doorstep, his shoulders sagged and his bushy tail drooped low, as if the weight of that tiny marble had followed him all the way home. That evening, Owen sat down with his acorn collection, the one he usually loved arranging into little towers and tiny patterns. But tonight, his paws fumbled, and his eyes kept drifting toward the marble. Its blue glow shimmered in the corner of his vision, pulling his thoughts away from the acorns. Even at dinner, he pushed his food around the plate, barely taking a nibble, while the marble's image lingered in his mind. When bedtime finally came, Owen curled beneath his blanket, hoping sleep would take him. Yet the darkness only made it worse. The marble seemed brighter than ever, glowing as if it had a voice of its own, whispering softly through the night, "I don't belong to you." The next morning, Owen's best friend, Layla the rabbit, hopped cheerfully up the path to his door. She always came ready to play, her ears bouncing with each step. But the moment she saw Owen, she tilted her head. "Why do you look so gloomy today?" she asked softly. Owen tried to smile, but it wobbled. He only shrugged, hoping she wouldn't notice. Yet from deep inside his pocket came the faintest clink, the marble shifting, reminding him it was there. Layla's eyes narrowed with care. She stepped closer and lowered her voice. "You're hiding something, Owen," she said gently. "And you know, secrets can feel heavy. Sometimes they sit inside us like stones." Her whiskers twitched as she gave a small, encouraging smile. "Maybe if you told the truth," she whispered, "you'd feel lighter again." Owen walked beside Layla through the wide, sunlit meadow, but each step felt heavier than the last. The marble pressed hard against his fur, as though it wanted to remind him of what he'd done. His paws dragged in the grass, and worry tangled in his chest. What if Mr. Pine discovered the truth? Would he ever be welcome in the toy shop again, the place he loved most? And what if his friends looked at him differently, thinking less of him because of one mistake? Owen swallowed hard, his throat tight with guilt. But through the hush of the meadow, Layla's gentle words returned to him, steady and clear. Sometimes secrets make us heavier inside. The next morning, Owen woke with a heaviness he could no longer ignore. The marble seemed to press against his heart, not just his pocket. With a deep breath, he slipped it into his paw and padded quietly down the path toward the little toy shop. The bell above the door gave a soft jingle as he pushed it open. The familiar scent of polished wood and paint greeted him, but today it felt different, like the whole shop was waiting. Behind the counter, Mr. Pine looked up from his work. His kind eyes crinkled as he offered a gentle smile. Owen's paws shook as he placed the glowing marble on the counter. His voice was barely more than a whisper, trembling with guilt. I took this," he admitted, ears drooping low. "I'm sorry." Mr. Pine didn't frown or raise his voice. Instead, he slowly knelt down so his eyes were level with Owen's. His smile was warm, steady, and kind. "That must have been very hard to say," he told him softly. "But Owen, honesty is a treasure far greater than any toy. It shines brighter because it comes from the heart." The words settled over Owen like a gentle breeze. His chest, once tight and heavy, began to loosen. For the very first time since he had slipped the marble into his pocket, he felt the weight lift. A deep breath filled his lungs, clear and free. As Owen made his way home, the whole forest seemed to glow with new light. The birds sang brightly above him, their cheerful notes ringing through the branches. The leaves swayed and danced in the breeze, as if the woods themselves were celebrating. His pocket was finally empty, but his heart felt wonderfully full. At the edge of the meadow, Layla bounded up to meet him, her ears twitching with excitement. "You told the truth, didn't you?" she asked with a knowing smile. Owen nodded, his eyes shining. "And it feels better than keeping the marble ever did." The two friends burst into laughter, chasing each other through the golden sunlight, their joy spilling freely into the open air. And so, Owen learned that carrying a secret can weigh down even the lightest of paws, but honesty sets us free. With his heart full and his friendship stronger, the forest felt brighter than ever. The end. If you enjoyed this gentle story with us, we'd love for you to like, share, follow, and subscribe to Bear Maple, so you can join us again for more stories that warm the heart. See you again, bears.